And that was a shoot.
Yeah, that's full-blown shoot.
Since you want to shoot, cowboy!
And now, the Real Shoot Wrestling Podcast.
Real Shoot Wrestling, episode number 24. Thank you for joining us. Hey, thank you guys for checking out the Jake the Snake interview on our last podcast earlier this week. It was well received. Heard a lot of good feedback. I think it's one of our most listened to podcasts already. So that's pretty cool. It was awesome to get to talk to him. Hey, this is going to be a little bit of a different episode. Hey, No Mercy's on the horizon. And I, as a member of Team Blue, am excited about that. But we're going to have a little different perspective. We're going to have a couple guests. And it's going to be a couple people that help run the Real Shoot Wrestling Network, as well as Tim and myself. So we're going to talk to them about what they think about the pay-per-view coming up, and we're going to get their predictions on what's going to happen. And then we're going to come back, and I'm going to, of course, tell you what really is going to happen. Okay, so without further ado, take it away, boys. What up, guys? It's RSW's resident GM, BJ. I'm here to give you a bit of a rundown of this upcoming weekend's No Mercy card, as well as my picks and what I'm really looking forward to everything. Early in the card, we have Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger. I think that's where we should go ahead and start, work our way up. This match is interesting to me just because they've been building it up the last few weeks. I'm curious as to where they decided to start making Jack Swagger be relevant and why the switch really happened. But I'm sure we'll find those details out as time goes on. In this match, though, it's interesting because I want both people to excel. Yes, even still Jack Swagger, although he's been there for a while and hasn't really done much since his world title run with Jericho, which, God, I think that was 2010? I don't even remember exactly. It's been a while. However, I think a loss will hurt Jack Swagger more than it will hurt Baron Corbin, because we've seen Corbin lose some matches. We've also not seen him in a pretty high-profile spot since coming up to the main roster after winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I think he can take a loss and still be okay. It's kind of one of those cases, like with Bray Wyatt early on, where Wyatt was a big deal, and you knew about Wyatt, but Wyatt was losing, but yet here we are, it's still now, and now we're talking about how his losses might be detrimental to him, but he's still where he is in the profile on the card. So I think Baron Corbin will grow even with a loss here. And eventually I see him being a wild card into whether it be an Intercontinental title or even potentially a world title picture. I think they could really do something with him. And I think they're just kind of holding off till that moment. So I am going to say that my pick will be Jack Swagger. Just because I'd like to see them do a little bit more with him. He can push it up high and keep, going on maybe to a Miz title feud, something of that nature. We'll just have to wait and see. The next match is Carmella versus Nikki Bella. I feel as though everyone knows, most of us don't appreciate Nikki Bella the way that a lot of people think we should, but I really just don't see it. I would hope that this would be a squash match. I know it's not going to be, but can I just get her off my screen already? Please. I don't care if she has a new show. Let her go be on it, and not on SmackDown. Carmella takes the win here, moves her on up. The next match, a pretty big one, real important.
is the career versus Intercontinental Championship match. The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Man, like, I did not see this angle coming at all. Either there's some weird stuff going on with contract negotiations, or just Dolph isn't happy, or wants to go and reinvent himself, or something that they're not letting him do within his contract. I don't know. I don't want it to be Dolph Ziggler's last match. Unfortunately, I feel, at least for this stint in this story, that it will be. I say the Miz picks up the win. To that end of things, I see Dolph Ziggler maybe going Cody Rhodes-ish to the Indies. An idea that recently was popping up into my head, especially with all the rumors of the WWE buying TNA Library and rebranding and stuff, is with that rebranding, they could have Dolph Ziggler debut, whether it would be a massive face or a massive heel, and let him do his indie dates and work with them, and could still, I don't know, elevate him a little bit while he's doing indie stuff, make him relevant and still on our TV screens in some way. I would be okay with him doing that, and I think that could be a good fit if he truly is leaving but still wants to be wrestling. So that's about it for that one. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships. No one has been able to stop the Usos. I like the changes. A couple weeks ago, when they kind of made them dress a little more, as I called it, gangsta, instead of just how they were. I liked their outfits before. But I guess this will work too. I really am digging the Tequila Sunrise finisher, and I think that this heel turn and music change and the way that they are in the ring, I really think it's helped them a lot, because like now I give a damn about the Usos, so to speak, when before I really didn't care one way or the other. However, with that being said, I don't think they stopped the dream team, jokingly of course, of Rhino and Heath Slater. Beauty and the Man Beast, still going to be a thing, still going to be on our TV. They got a little bit more that they can milk out of that, and I think that they'll go for that. So, Rhino and Heath Slater retain. The next up is the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. I'll tell you who I want to win, and I'll tell you who's going to win. I really want Alexa Bliss to win. That's just because I'm a huge Alexa Bliss fan, and I really think since the brand split and her being called up to the main roster, when you think about the ones that have been called up in that time, when Bayley got called up, yeah, we know Bayley's going to be great, because Bayley was always great. But like between her, Carmella, Nia Jax, I really think that Alexa Bliss has just took her game to a whole other level, and it just, yeah, I don't see where it's going to stop. I think she's great as a heel. I think her character's great, and I do see her with the title. Unfortunately, not this soon, not 1 month after it already being won by Becky Lynch. I see her carrying that belt for quite a little bit, so Becky Lynch is my pick that will win it. Next, we have Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, and this storyline has been great. I think the little fooling each other, trapping one another, making them play the mind games and stuff. Like, Randy Orton didn't have that element to his character when he faced The Undertaker back in the day, when he had his dad in his corner and he was scared of The Undertaker. But The Undertaker played mind games with him. So now it's like, fast forward to the new era, Bray Wyatt can play those types of games, but now they're showing that Orton has learned to play those games too. And you know what? I can go with that. I think that's pretty good. I think the match will be good now that we're finally going to get it, that Orton's cleared. And this is where I was talking about earlier with Baron Corbin. I want Bray to win, because we have had enough Bray Wyatt losses to where I think it will really start hurting his character. We need Bray Wyatt wins, and we need him to win against Randy Orton in a decisive manner. Maybe not one to like weaken Orton's stature, but definitely one to solidify Bray's, because I'd like to see Bray in a main event picture here within the next few months. And then, of course, we have our main event, AJ Styles versus John Cena versus Dean Ambrose, triple threat for the WWE title. I kind of look at this as a way to get Dean out of the title picture. I think something's going to happen that involves Dean getting screwed out and decisively losing the match, while neither Cena or AJ really look weak. I think it's a way to kind of oust him so that we can get AJ and Cena 3, because I think that's coming. I could talk more about that and the results of where that's going to go for days, but I do not think that John Cena's 16th title reign is going to happen this Sunday. I think AJ retains. I think we have a night of retention and prepare us on for bigger and better stories, as SmackDown has been able to do consistently since the brand extension. And I think they're going to keep doing it. I'm a huge SmackDown mark right now, and will continue to be. You all enjoy your Raws all you want. I pick and choose on that, but I enjoy every bit of SmackDown from beginning to end. Anyways, those are my picks and my thoughts. Hit me up on Twitter at the GMBJM, or on our Facebook page, and tell me what you think, if you agree or if things are different. Catch you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Starkey from Real Shoot Wrestling Podcast. I do the tweet stream, as known as Starkdust, or as my Twitter handle, John the Beloved. You can follow that on Twitter and also Instagram. Today I am going to send my picks for this Sunday's WWE No Mercy, brought to you by SmackDown Live, and I'm going to pick the card right about now. And then again, check out this week's podcast for Jade Snake Roberts' interview. It was amazing, great time, and it was fun to listen to on the way to work this morning. So, let me go ahead and pull up the card right about now. And our first bout will be between Baron Corbin and Jack Swagger. So, these two are slowly starting to build a good feud, in my opinion. This feud needs to really come up really good. And for Baron Corbin, he needs to be the ruthless, aggressive person that he really is. And for Jack Swagger, he just needs to be relevant again. And this one is kind of a no-brainer for me, for the, I think, first of three, or first until the end of the year. I'll go with the Baron Corbin getting over on Jack Swagger. To our next bout, we get to Carmella versus Nikki Bella. And I love the evolution of Carmella being a heel. She kind of broke herself off of that pact of Enzo and Cass and Carmella, that trio that ran NXT. So Carmella being very heelish and very, very physical, very dominating. And Nikki Bella just getting back from injury and had her time and whatnot. Then these two have just been going at it. I mean, goodness gracious, they even brawled it during Talking Smack. So, with my pick, this one, I say Nikki gets the nod by popular opinion, but this feud is far from over. It's only heating up. So, I will go with Nikki over Carmella. Next, we got the career versus IC match. For those who don't know what I just said, it's career versus Intercontinental Championship match. You get the champion, The Miz, versus Dolph Ziggler. That segment with the Dolphumentary, that was priceless. Very good promo by The Miz on SmackDown. Kudos to him. And The Miz has been on fire lately, so I will just end it right there with my gloating about The Miz. this match is going to be, I think, the best out of both of them. It's only to elevate both, but depends on what's going to happen to Ziggler if he loses. So, my gut tells me The Miz, but my heart tells me Dolph Ziggler, and I will go with a hidden storyline after this, or bold prediction. I say Daniel Bryan will have a say in this one, and Dolph Ziggler will get over. Next up, we got the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between Rhino and Heath Slater versus the Usos. By the way, the new look Usos, oh my gosh, they are really, really getting all the attention right now. No face paint is over with me. So, then obviously Rhino and Heath Slater doing it real big. Heath Slater got the double wide, all as well. So, I say with Usos feud with American Alpha, they're just going to let that build up a little more. So, I wouldn't be surprised to say if they lost this one, and I kind of agree with it. So, Rhino and Heath Slater go over on the Usos. Then you get to the WWE Women's SmackDown Championship, or what they say, the SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. This little Spitfire known as Alexa Bliss, my goodness gracious, she's been really building some heat. And Becky Lynch, Becky Balboa, straight fire, everything. This is going to be a really good match, guys. It wouldn't hurt my feelings to see if Alexa Bliss won. But, like I said before, this feud is only going to get elevated much higher down the road. So I'll go with Becky Lynch. She retains. Then we finally, yes, I said it, finally, we get Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. That promo on SmackDown, the storage locker, really good work. Really good work. Kind of creeped me out a little bit because I used to watch Storage Wars, but that's besides the point. So, Bray Wyatt, he's due for a win, and Randy Orton, I think he's at that point in his career where he's going to put the younger talent over. So I will say this, Bray Wyatt gets over on Randy Orton. And finally, the triple threat for the WWE Championship, AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose versus John Cena. I'll tell you what, guys, that promo with AJ and Dean interrupting John Cena and literally putting down John Cena in a very bully type way, oh my gosh, it was brilliant, guys. Seriously. So, this is really tough to pick. But I just don't see AJ dropping the belt anytime soon, or for the near future at that. I say John Cena puts on a really good showing. Dean does his usual Dean stuff and attempts to make it a good effort. And AJ is pretty much phenomenal. So I will say this, my final pick for the championship match will be the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my picks from bottom card, top card, all points in between. Ladies and gentlemen, please check out our podcast this week. We interviewed WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts. It was fun to listen to on the way to work, like I said earlier. And guys, follow us on Twitter, Instagram at RSW Podcast. And if you guys want to know a little more about me, follow me on Twitter and Instagram on at John the Beloved, JOHNTHABELOVED. That's my picks. See y'all later.
Wow, those are some really good picks from you guys. So thank you guys a lot for doing that for us. No Mercy, first of all, is this Sunday. If you guys don't know, you can go to the Real Shoot Wrestling Facebook page and chat with us during the show, just like every other show. We do every pay-per-view. We do Raw and SmackDown. But anyway, let's get to my picks for this weekend. We start out the show with Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger. I never thought I'd really care about Jack Swagger ever again, but I actually do care about this. And I think Baron Corbin's going to beat him, but I think it's going to be a good match. I think this is a good pairing between those two. I actually expected Jack Swagger to get cut through the last firings this past year, but he survived, and he's here to have a good showing, I think. Carmella versus Nikki Bella is next. I want to say this, and I don't completely. It's not completely a finished product yet, but so far I've been impressed with Nikki Bella. I really have, because when I saw her come back in, I expected her to be kind of taking the spotlight off everyone else, just kind of like how she was on her last run, not giving anybody else a chance to really shine. And so far, this hasn't been the case. I mean, she's really given Carmella a chance to be herself, I think, and this match is going to be, I'm not sure who's going to win. I think, to be honest with you, the way that it's being booked so far, I think Carmella is going to get disqualified, and this might not be the final chapter in this rivalry. The career versus Intercontinental Championship match. The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. This has been one of the pleasant surprises for the year in the WWE. If you would have said that The Miz and Dolph Ziggler were going to be one of the focal points of the new SmackDown show, a lot of people would probably be disappointed in that. But it really has been, and it's been very entertaining. The Miz's character development has been outstanding, and throughout the last year, Dolph has had a fire that he hasn't had in the last couple of years, and it's exciting. As far as this match is concerned, there's a lot of rumors about Dolph being done with wrestling, but I expect some kind of a schmoz finish, to be honest with you. I know I said that the last match would be a disqualification, but I think that Dolph might win by disqualification. So he walks away with his career, but without the Intercontinental Championship. SmackDown Tag Team titles are on the line as Rhino and Heath Slater take on the new look Usos. I think this is a situation where the Usos are really putting the shine on Rhino and Heath Slater. I'm not sure how long these guys are going to hold the titles. I think they wanted to start it out with a face. I do see the Usos winning the belts and eventually feuding with American Alpha down the road. But I think if not this show, at least pretty soon, that the Usos are going to get the belts. The women's title match, Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. In my opinion, the best women's wrestler on the main roster this year has been Becky Lynch. Not Sasha Banks, not Charlotte. I can't take anything away from what those two women have done, especially what they did. They main evented Raw this past week, and then, of course, their first match that they had on the first week of the brand split was also outstanding. Those two have proven that they have great chemistry together, but I think Becky Lynch has proven that she's the MVP because she's elevated the women's division on SmackDown as a whole. And that has a lot to do with the booking as well, but she's done an outstanding job of making everything matter. And Alexa Bliss, Daniel Bryan challenged those two to have a better match than Sasha and Charlotte. I don't know that they can. I don't know that they've ever worked together, so they probably don't have the same chemistry. But I do expect Becky Lynch to retain, and I do expect it to be a good match, especially if they give it time. Alexa Bliss, one thing she can do, one thing she knows how to do, is use that psychology, and her facial expressions really tell the story. And then we have the match that was supposed to happen at the last pay-per-view, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Hopefully Randy Orton is cleared to compete this time. This is one of the, we talked about this on a few shows before this. Orton and Wyatt, they're both guys that are in need of wins. I mean, Orton hasn't won since he's come back. Wyatt hasn't won. He hasn't won. So, every time I pick Bray Wyatt, he loses. So I'm going to pick Randy Orton to win this match because I think they want to put some credibility into Orton. They don't want him to be like Jericho a few years ago when he was losing every match like Fandango and everything else. So I think they want to put some credibility into Orton. Luke Harper's on the horizon, so he may be a factor in this match. We'll see. Finally, the WWE title match, AJ Styles versus Ambrose versus John Cena. This has been outstanding packages that these guys have put together. Not only have they put together some great matches, but they've also put together a lot of compelling promos. This past week is a great example of what you can do when you put these guys in the ring together and just, basically lay it out on the line, blur the lines a little bit. I think Styles is going to hold the title for a while. I think he's the cornerstone of SmackDown, and rightfully so. This guy can work. It's going to be interesting to see. Honestly, it's going to be interesting to see what the WWE does if they did indeed acquire the TNA library, because you might really begin to see them to be able to tell a better story of the AJ Styles timeline. The AJ Styles career, for the most part, can't be told because the WWE doesn't have any of the tapes or, matches of AJ Styles' career. And that could change a good bit if they did indeed acquire the TNA library. I'm excited about this show. Clash of the Champions was a good show, but I think SmackDown overall has been a better product, and I look forward to seeing where they go from here, especially with Survivor Series on the horizon. But anyway, like I said, check out the Real Shoot Wrestling page on Facebook. We'll be having a live conversation going on. Twitter, RSW Podcast. We'll probably have about 4,000 followers by the time the show starts. We also have an Instagram, RSW Podcast. And hey guys, if you could subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, give us a good review. We definitely appreciate it. We're also on SoundCloud and YouTube and even Stitcher. But anyway, enjoy the show. Thank you guys.